Another week, another episode. It's the Informed Moron, and we're getting back to our roots, baby. We're going to football, NFL Draft 2022. And we got our OGs, baby. We got Landon Akhtar. He's
What's happening?
Jersey. He's ready to go. He's fired up. This is his first time on video. Landon, how are you doing, buddy? Happy Mother's Day.
I'm doing great. First time on video, but I do it as a living. So, I'm going to look handsome like always. And I'm wearing the 49ers jersey just to remind everybody that this isn't just a Raiders podcast. We cover every facet of the NFL. We're going to go over the draft. It's going to be beautiful. It was a crazy, 3 days, 4 days, whatever it was. And just excited to dive in a little deeper.
Definitely, man. And we had Dylan on here, but he is a reckless driver. He is currently fighting a case for reckless driving in the state of Colorado. So he's continuing to do what got him in trouble, but hopefully he gets back on and he can talk a little bit about the draft.
He probably just got pulled over. They're turning the body cams off as we speak.
They're not going to have any record whatsoever. Oh, there he is.
Oh, they let him off with a warning. That's what it was.
You ready?
We're just getting.
Or what?
Oh yeah, I'm fucking ready to get into it. A lot of big moves in this year's draft, which was a fucking surprise. That was crazy.
Definitely, I agree. Well, I got a couple topics written down right here just so we can shoot through them. And this is the first topic I wanted to go over since Ito's saying that a couple of teams killed it, right? Let's go over the three biggest winners of the NFL draft. And I'm going to start it with Landon. Me and Landon talked about this a little bit before the podcast. So, Landon, give me your three biggest winners from this 2022 draft and why.
Three biggest winners. Well, that's a loaded question. And I think there's pretty much every team wins. It's pretty hard to do come out of a draft without at least being semi-better. But if we're talking about the teams that I think did the best, number one, I got to go with the Jets. I think they addressed every facet of their team, not only with the draft, but in free agency. And I think, they really developed into more of a team last year, I think. And they're only going to build on that by adding somebody like Ahmad Gardner, Sauce Gardner, as everybody knows him, and the number 4 draft pick. Everybody knows that cornerbacks are such a big piece of how teams move forward. And then Garrett Wilson moving up and sneaking in and getting one of the top receivers. That's huge. So I'm going to go with them, number 1. I'm going to go with the Lions, number 2, same thing. An up-and-coming team. They've been dysfunctional, but they've addressed everything from, offense to defensive end finally. They got another wide receiver. As bad as Jared Goff is, he's got a lot of firepower now. And, number 3, that's a tough one because I feel like that, I think the first 2 options were pretty straightforward and a lot of people would agree. I think the Bengals, and I think it's more specifically because they're already an established team and they really addressed the things that they needed. So they went and got some offensive linemen. They beefed up their defense a lot, and I don't think anybody would contest that they didn't need much to do on their offense. So I think these 3 teams are more fully complete than a lot of other teams that I think more or less just had to address certain issues that, they might still have holes. So that's where I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Jets, Lions, and Bengals.
Awesome. I agree with all of those as well. Ito, let's hear what you think the 3 biggest winners from the NFL draft are and why.
So the biggest winner in my mind actually wasn't on Landon's list. It was the Eagles. I thought the Eagles absolutely fucking killed that draft. Picking up A.J. Brown, that opens up so much in their offense that it brings in a stud. A.J. Brown, everyone knows a stud, top 5 receiver in the league possibly. And then on top of that, you got a guy like Jalen Reagor, a guy who, first or early second round pick of last year, and speed demon, guy who could blow the top off of a defense, but when he's the number 1 guy to be focused, Smith, he's not going to do as well. Whereas now when A.J. Brown is getting all that attention, you got to either leave Jalen Reagor or one-on-one, and no matter how you break that down, that's going to be a good matchup. They're going to be able to move the ball a lot better, especially in the throwing game. The Eagles are a run-first type team.
I think Landon has something to say. What are you going
to say?
Jalen
Rager, the bust of last year's draft. That's who's winning
here. You guys hear anything I'm saying, or am I just cutting out?
You're cutting out a little bit, definitely. I would say so.
Fuck.
Yeah, but just stay on there. We heard what you're saying. Landon, I think you had something to say.
I think I'm lagging out, boys. I'll probably hop off of this one, but yeah, the Eagles fucking kill it. Watch out for the Eagles win the NFC East. Take the fucking bets on that right now for futures if you fucking got it. But I can get out of here so I don't ruin this podcast with fucking laggy internet. So,
hey, we love you, Ito. Happy Mother's Day.
All right, brother. Yeah. Drive safe. Don't get pulled over. Jalen Rager sucks. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I gotta agree with that. I think you forgot about the Heisman winner over there named Devontae Smith, who's a fucking badass. I think that will help him out, if anything. Jalen Rager might have some more looks. He might get open now that he's the 3 option behind AJ and Devontae. That should open him up. But, I think the Eagles definitely did win that draft. I think he was forgetting about a little guy by the name of Jordan Davis, defensive tackle out of Georgia, who's an absolute beast of the draft. They got him before they even traded for AJ Brown. So
what round did they get him in?
The first, with the number 13 pick. And then they traded away AJ Brown, they traded for AJ Brown at number 18 with the Tennessee Titans, and they drafted Treylon Burks, who's basically AJ Brown 2.0 out of Arkansas. So I think the Eagles are going to be good after this draft. I definitely like what Ito was saying right there. But I have a couple other teams as well that I think won the draft. I also wrote down the Jets and the Lions, like you, Landon. And I'm also going to throw in the Steelers and the Giants.
You a Pickett believer?
What's that?
Let's start with the Steelers. You a believer in Pickett?
You know what? I really like Kenny Pickett. I am a believer. I don't know if he's going to be as great as I think he's going to be. I think he's got a lot of talent. I think going to the Steelers is the best case scenario for him. And I think that system will work with him very well. But not only that Kenny Pickett draft pick, they also brought in a wide receiver who's very, very good. I forget his name exactly, and I don't want to mess it up. Let me see.
I'll try to find him. No, keep going. I'll try to find him. Do you know what round?
I believe it was the second, and I believe his name is like Pickens so it's Pickens.
Yeah, George Pickens.
Yes,
Georgia.
He's a
6'3", 195 pounds. Woo!
Yeah, he's a big boy. And don't forget about Najee Harris over there as well. So they have a lot of key parts over there. They have Deontay Johnson. They're bringing in a new wide receiver, a new quarterback. They brought in Mitchell Trubisky kind of to bring that guy under his wing right there, Kenny Pickett. So I think he won't play this year, obviously, but he's going to have a good cast around him, Mike Tomlin. And I fit in well, but we'll see. I have been wrong before, but I'm excited to see him. And I think that the New York Giants also did a great job. Let's pull up their picks right here. We have them picking up Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon, one of the best edge rushers in the draft, and they got him at 5. I think that was a great pick by them. And then they were at 7 as well, and they picked up Evan Neal, one of the best offensive linemen in this draft.
Which they desperately needed, obviously, right? I mean, their offensive line was probably the worst in the NFL for the last, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, they're absolutely horrible on the offensive line, and they needed this. I mean, I don't know how much it's going to help their team, but they killed it in the draft. Like I was like, wow, that's good shit by the New York Giants, which you usually don't hear about too much.
Sorry if I'm interrupting. Wasn't there a lot of back and forth between scouts on Kayvon Thibodeau and he can't bend very well, or he's kind of he's not all gas, no brakes. He's kind of he takes plays off. Wasn't that kind of the scouting report on him?
Right. They were saying he relies too much on his strength and that he's mostly a bull rush kind of guy. He's not really a finesser. I think that's BS, man. I think it's just a lot of guys hating on the Pac-12. I think that guy's going to be a freaking stud from the time he enters the league, right away. I was a big fan of his. I went to a couple Oregon games and saw him play, and this guy's a real deal.
Let's pull him up real quick. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Pull him up. Pull up his highlights, and we'll break it down a little bit. But I think
it's very minimum what we got here, but let's just show the people what we got here. Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah, let's do it. We're just learning how to use this application right here, guys. So we apologize in advance, but this is lit right here. I'm excited. Here he is, like a big boy. He does have that injury to his left elbow. Look at that though. Here we go.
Is it not? Yeah, we got a terrible quality here. See, this is what happens when you. There you go. The ThinkPad's trying. Ah.
Oh, got his ass.
Oh,
got him.
He's lengthy, bro. He's a big boy.
He's a big ass boy, and he's an athlete.
Yeah,
I think absolutely got a steal in that because I was for a long time I was hearing he might be the first overall pick, and then,
a lot of people were saying it, right? And then everybody's saying how he was like he can't bend. Being bendy, apparently, I didn't know this, but Peter King and everybody, defensive end, like that's huge. Like again, being able to kind of tuck under the offensive lineman, trying to get you up top, like that's huge. So I don't know if. I mean, I didn't evaluate him enough to be like, oh, you can't bend, but like we'll see how that plays out. But again, like you could just tell by just this film right here that he's a physical freak. So it'll be interesting.
Like every play he's getting a sack. It's pretty ridiculous. It's like
every play looks like it hurts like a motherfucker, and that's when you know.
And he's got the passion behind it too. Like there's a lot of videos of him shit talking to people. And
oh yeah. Oh, that was a foul. No, yeah, I shouldn't. God damn.
I'd want this guy on my team. That's for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind either. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, that was scary.
Man. Super scary. I'm
really good pick.
Super great pick. So Giants tearing it up. But let's get to the opposite side of the spectrum. The three biggest losers of the NFL draft. And I'll start it off with you, Landon. Who are the biggest losers of this draft and why?
The Raiders, because they didn't even have any picks. No, I think if we're being real, I mean, you guys got Devontae Adams, so I think that's fine. The biggest losers, I think number one, it's got to be the Patriots. I think they've just always been terrible draft. They've just not been good at drafting. I think they need to, take Bill outside and sit him aside and be like, hey, you're getting old, sir. You had a few good picks, but at this point, like the NFL's changing. It's not all defense. And the pick of Cole Strange at pick 29. This guy could have. I mean, yeah, he's going to be good. I think he's one of those like safe picks, but you could have got him in the second round, third round, probably. Just didn't make sense to me. And then the receiver they got, I don't know what his name was, but I heard that the scouting report on him was that he can't catch. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how are you gonna take a receiver that can't catch? Like his problem is actually like holding on to the ball. Like he's fast and everything, so that might be interesting. But what's that gonna do when you got
no
Mr. Dink and Dunker, Mr. Dink and Dunker, Mac Jones out there not even able to get the ball down deep. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots number one. Number two, I got to go with Seahawks. I don't know what the hell the fucking Seahawks are doing. I love it though because I'm a Niners fan. Like, go ahead and be stupid. Like, I'm all about it. Now they did address what they do need to fix, which is their offensive line a little bit. So I mean that in that aspect, that was a good move. But going all in on Drew Lock, getting another running back. I mean, I guess they need one kind of. I mean, they have a lot of injury-prone running backs, but it just didn't seem like they came out of the draft and looked like a different team. They seemed like the same team with a worse quarterback. And, I mean, again, their offensive line might be better, but their defense, like for a defensive coach, Pete Carroll, like they've been terrible ever since that Super Bowl that they lost where they didn't hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. They've just tanked in the defensive department. They didn't really address it either in the draft, a little bit, but not sure what they're doing. Kind of dumb. And then I think everybody would agree the Cowboys. Who knows what the fuck the Cowboys are doing? Jerry Jones is, he's probably, too busy going out in Vegas trying to hook up with ladies to even, be in the draft room and focus on what you need to do and replacing, some of the star talent that they lost on offense. What did they address, honestly? So they got an offensive tackle, Tyler Smith. You can't go wrong there. And you know what? I think that's what they needed to address. Again, I think they did address, at least with their first pick, what they needed to take care of. But again, then they got an outside linebacker at 24. I don't think they needed that. Honestly, I don't think that's at least the part of their team that they needed to address. I think they needed to, in some way, replace some of the firepower that they lost with Amari Cooper. And then who's the other receiver that left them?
The guy that's what was his name?
Not Tavon Austin, but someone like that. The speed guy. He's like number one. I'm dropping the ball on his name, but he was sneaky good. He was one of those guys that would take the top off the play or take the top off the defense for them. And it just doesn't feel like their offense is at all any better. I mean, again, Gallup is staying. Gallup is getting paid. Yeah, no. There's
a guy like that. The other guy.
Yes, the other guy that left. They didn't address it. But I'll figure it out. I'll try to Google it here. But again, it's just they don't seem like they really took steps forward. It feels like they kind of just did minor patchwork, and I don't know, just not a fan. So those would be my three as far as the losers.
While you're Googling that, try to look up the video where Jerry Jones shows their draft grades. That he literally grades. And the guy that they chose, offensive tackle, was one of their least rated prospects, and they ended up drafting him at pick 24, and they didn't even want him really. And he totally lied to the media and was like, "We had this guy rated way higher than all the other prospects we had this year. Check it out." And he showed the piece of paper, and a guy took a picture of it, zoomed in, and basically showed where they rated each guy. And
someone deciphered it.
And they ended up picking him, and Jerry Jones is pretending to be all excited about it. But that's just Jerry Jones doing Jerry Jones shit, trying to make it seem like he's the guru here, and he's the guy picking all the best players. And then he ended up throwing his GM under the bus and his head coach under the bus, saying, nah, I don't make every pick, but, I was responsible for that Micah Parsons pick. So he's basically just saying, nah, I don't pick all the time, but when I do, it's only superstars around here. So Jerry Jones, more of the same shit. The Cowboys are not going to be successful until that guy dies, unfortunately, and he's never going to sell the team until he's 6 feet deep. So I'm thoughts and prayers with the Dallas Cowboys, because they absolutely screwed over this draft. And usually they're not too bad. Usually they go for the biggest name, the guy that's going to be immediately productive in the NFL. But yeah, they did address their needs, but they didn't get the right people. I think they got the offensive line, they got a new wide receiver, a new edge rusher. So we'll see what happens. But my thought is that they're going to make it to playoffs. They're going to lose first round, just like always. It's just the good old Cowboys, America's team, baby. But some of the other biggest losers from this draft, in my mind, always the Jaguars, right? The Jaguars always screw it up. They had the number one pick again this year, and they picked Trayvon Walker, who probably wasn't even worthy of the first pick. But they went out and reached for him when Aiden Hutchinson is right there out of Michigan, one of the best defensive ends, best outside linebackers, edge rushers that we've ever seen out of Michigan. And he was ready. He was ready to go. They missed that. They go for Trayvon, absolutely screwed up their whole draft in my mind just because of that. That kind of set the tone. And also the Titans. The Titans traded away A.J. Brown, not even at that high of a pick either. If you trade away A.J. Brown, you better get a top 5 pick for that, in my opinion. And what did they get? I think they got the number 11 pick for him. Not very high at all. They screwed that up. They did draft another A.J. Brown 2.0. But what were you going to say, Landon?
Cedric Wilson. That was the receiver that they got rid of on the Cowboys.
Yes, he's very good. Yep. And then the last team that I believed screwed up their draft, just like you're saying with the Cowboys, that did not address any of the needs, was the Chicago Bears, man. Let's
drafted it. I felt
feel bad for Justin Fields, man, because he's just
Yeah, I mean, when you have a talent like Justin Fields, like not only was he raw, but he started, he developed, he showed some promise.
yeah.
You can't go into that next season without by getting rid of Allen Robinson and not replacing him. Like Mooney is clear. I think Mooney is the clear number one option, even if Allen Robinson is there, just based off his talent. I think he's going to be a steal in the draft this year. But again, it's just like if you're not putting your young quarterback in position to excel on what he already kind of developed around with his first year start, then you make it that much harder for him to get more comfortable, for him to allow himself to just kind of play the game in kind of in a natural state, instead of him trying to, okay, Mooney's covered now, what the fuck am I going to do? He's going to start running it a lot more than he probably should, and then it's going to look like college. He's going to get banged up. Like, you got to put pieces around your young quarterback. And I think more importantly than their first year, it's the second year that they need to have that kind of established offense, established key players to make them look better, again, to make them feel confident, because going into your second year, you already have kind of the jitters out of the way, and then you need to have your talent really shine through, and that's what propels your career. And again, what did they get? Number 16, they got a safety from Penn State. Like, that's fine, but like, are we all sitting here saying that like the safety position on the Chicago Bears was their number one issue? Like, fuck no. Like, they've had a good defense. Okay, number 7, they also got a cornerback, Kyle Gordon. You can never go wrong with a corner. Let's be real. But again, like, if you're gonna get a corner, Kyle Gordon at number 7, I don't know if safety is the next place to address. And again, given the context of having a quarterback that's just starting out, I mean, you gotta give him help there. I mean,
I agree. Like, you got a great defense, like you mentioned. They always have a great defense, and they just love to add to it. So I'm not knocking their picks, like you're saying. Cornerback, you always need that. Kyler Gordon's going to be great. Also, the safety out of Penn State, Jaquan Brisker, is going to be great. But look, they waited till the round 3 to pick up a wide receiver out of Tennessee. I'm sure he's going to be okay, but with your first couple picks, man, you have to address that need for a wide receiver, put some weapons around your guy, and get his stats up, get his confidence up. And they're just adding to the defense. And it looks like they just want to keep running the ball, because what did they do? They drafted a couple offensive tackles, a center, a guard, and then another running back out of Baylor, Treston Ebner. But they already have Montgomery, so maybe they're looking towards the future. They want to keep that running game going and strong. I get it, but I just don't think – I think they could have done a lot better. And they traded away at their best wide receiver. Like, go out and trade up for a first-round wide receiver. This was the draft to do it. I haven't seen this many good wide receivers available in so many rounds before, and they didn't take advantage of it. So – let's
give them the benefit of the doubt. Do you know anything about their wide receiver that they got? His name is Velus. Is that how you fucking say it? Velus Jones Jr. Velus? I don't know.
No, I don't know too much about it. How about you look at this tape?
I got it right here. I already got it loaded up this time, so we don't have any lag. All right, here we go. So it's Velus Jones Jr. I'm probably butchering that, and I apologize, Mr. Jones Jr., because I have a terrible last name too. Everyone gets it wrong. Let's see. Okay, so 5'11" and 3/4. Oh, he's 6 foot. I'm 6 foot on Tinder. So 204 pounds.
Why'd they do him dirty? Why'd they put the 3/4 right there? You should have just gave.
I know. You should have gave him the fucking. give him the quarter inch. Come on.
Let's see. Oh, he's a USC guy.
I didn't know that. I thought it said Tennessee. Oh, so 2016 to 2019 he was USC. Oh, maybe he is good then. Hey, there's not a lot of tape on this though. We're already almost halfway through.
There we go. Okay.
I mean, I could run that route. Come on. Let's watch his footwork here.
Let's see the footwork.
Oh, that's just speed. Speed.
That's the speed. Right?
I think I remember watching him play actually when he was at USC. I think his first year. He's a very. Yeah. I think he's kind of big for it, but I think he's going to be a good slot receiver. So
big old.
You know what's funny is he reminds me of Mooney now that I'm looking at him. I mean, he might not be as fast as Mooney, but that's it. That's all they have on him. But
See, this
yeah,
guy looks like a Bears wide receiver. Like he just doesn't have a lot of tape. He's had like what 3 touchdowns in his highlight tape. Like, come on, dude. I don't know about that.
yeah, like come on, bro. And one of them was like a little slant route. Like, ooh, like come on, bruh. Yeah, that's like, come on, like Danny Gray from USC or the Niners
Yeah.
pick. That guy has some fucking tape. You know, that guy.
Let's get into that. We'll go. This is one of the topics I have written down right here. Favorite player drafted by the Niners. I did write Danny Gray. You sent me his tape. You know,
that's right.
This is my favorite player for you guys because I thought that Debo wasn't going to be back, but it's looking like he may be back. I'm still questioning if he's going to play, though, because he did follow you guys back on social media. A couple of weeks ago, he unfollowed you guys, took down all of his Niners stuff. So it is an unfolding drama that we have still in the Bay Area. But I tell you what, this Danny Gray pickup out of SMU, that guy's looking good. He's got the speed. He's going to pop the top on these defenses, open up the guys down below like George Kittle. And I think it's going to help out the system a lot to have a speedster like that. So let's put on his tape and let's see what this guy's all about.
Let's do it. I agree. I think he's kind of a gem in the draft. I think the reason he fell to where he is because he's kind of like he's going to perform in a scheme, and I think what the Niners do is the perfect scheme. I'm sorry if you hear those sirens in the background, but this guy is fucking fast.
Southern California, right there in Hollywood.
That's right.
Let's see. Look at this right here. Okay, I love that right there. Got the step, got the 2 feet in. That's professional right there.
And I think the number one thing with this guy is his body control. He's just like, look at that, like splitting them in the middle like that, understanding where you have the leverage. You want to see that too, being able to go up and get a ball. But right here, this is why we got him. This looks exactly like a Deebo Samuel play, just with less physicality. I mean, the speed that he has and the ability to come off from, the sidelines and then dive straight into the middle of the field and turn it up. And that was very, and there's plenty more highlights like that where he's getting the ball on the outside numbers and then just taking it up the middle, literally just like Deebo, just like Brandon Ayuk. It's literally going to be just, the yak trio at this point. Because I think, go ahead.
Let me tell you, this is an example of how much the Bears fucking suck. You guys, I'm sorry to interrupt you, by the way. You guys picked that guy in round 3 at pick 105. The Bears picked up that dude out of Tennessee with the pick 71 in round 3. Like they could have had that guy. It's like that's either great job by Kyle. Or that's either a horrible job by the Bears. I'm starting to think it's just a horrible job by the Bears because this kind of shit just happens every year to them.
Hey,
it's really
that's a good pickup by Kyle, though. Like I agree. The Bears they've been dysfunctional for years. Let's be honest. Like when was the last time? I mean, the last time that they had a good quarterback, I can't even remember. I mean, they did all right with Trubisky, and I think they had some good stuff going with them, but then they blamed it all on him, got rid of the coaching staff, and then the defense fell apart when Staley left. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense what they're doing. And then I think that they handled last year terribly with Fields, and now they're not setting him up again this year. I don't know. They're not a good development team. I think Kyle and our our front office, we at least have some good foresight into what our team needs, because I think we have that stability with Kyle, our system. We have players that are already established, but you also have to understand that Elijah Mitchell was a beast last year, but in our system he's going to get hurt. He's going to be a bell cow. You go out and get another running back in round I think it was round 2. So I think we have an identity, and I think that's what the Bears are missing, is their identity and understanding what their team is and what they specialize in. I guess they're going all in on defense again, so we'll see how that works out in an offensive league.
The Jake Jackson pickup at in round 2, pick 61, great pick by Kyle. I love that one.
I'll pull that up too.
Nice. Round 3, pick 93, great. Danny Gray, great pickup. Addressing some offensive line needs with Spencer Burford and another cornerback. I mean, you guys got graded super low. I think you guys did a great job in this draft. You guys got everything you basically needed, especially right there in round 7, pick 262 with Mr. Irrelevant quarterback Brock Purdy. Like you're saying, the Niners know what they need to address, and they
Oh my God.
Trey Lance. I don't know what's going on over there. At least this guy went to a D1 school, but I like that pick right there. I think the Niners are doing a good job. I will give Kyle this. Kyle's a great drafter, and he knows how to set up that team with success with young guys. I don't know if he's the best with cap space and everything, but let's look up that highlight tape of your boy from the second round, Mr. Drake Jackson. Let's check that out.
I got it pulled up right here.
Let's see it. And then
fucking Drake.
I'll get into the Raiders' favorite draft pick right
what,
there.
every one pick that they had this year?
I think we had like 5, but I think we did okay. We dressed what we needed. Let's see this guy. This guy's
6'2", 5'8", 254. A lot of good.
Let's see.
Ooh, look at that. That just a movement. I think his movement from side to side for a big boy like him. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh, he's lengthy.
Oh, that was an interception. Okay. Body control. Look at that. Look, he looks like a freaking offensive player when he has the ball in his hand.
This guy with Nick Bosa, him and Nick Bosa.
Oh, it's gonna be that again. It's like it's another one of those things where I don't think we needed a guy like this necessarily, but knowing the identity of your team and what your strength is, and capitalizing on that. I mean, I think everybody would agree you can never have enough defensive edge rushers, but again, I think it's just it's the Niners knowing what their identity is, and I think that's what a lot of teams that don't do well, not only in drafting but in playing, don't have. Is like, okay, what are we doing? Like, I mean, the Seahawks, they wanted to be a running the ball fucking team all year, and then Chris Carson and Rashad Penny are always hurt. Their offensive line sucks. Like, what the fuck are you doing? That's not. You can't have your identity if you don't have running back. Your identity can't be a running team if you have a terrible offensive line and running backs that are always hurt, and then it forced Russ out. So it's part of that understanding who you are. And then I know you wanted to talk about the Raiders, but let me just make this point real quick. I think the Buffalo Bills knew exactly what they were doing with picking up James Cook and their identity. They're a pass first team, but they need someone a little bit more explosive in the running back field. And James Cook is arguably one of the best pass catching running backs coming out of the draft. So, I mean, he's going to be another steal in fantasy. Like, he might not be the every down back. He might not be the one on 3rd and 1 going in between the tackles trying to get the first down, but he's going to be sitting there at the 20-yard line when they're in the red zone. He's just going to do a little out route. Allen's going to just pop it to him, and he's going to be a touchdown machine this year. I guarantee it. And again, it goes back to having their identity as like, we're a pass team first. We have some issues in running back where, like, I don't think either of their running backs, Singletary or I forget the other guy's name. Neither of them were very good pass catching backs, and bringing this guy in is going to be interesting.
I agree. We'll definitely get into James Cook. I did want to talk about him as well.
Yeah.
But let's go to the Raiders. I want to talk about my favorite player that the Raiders drafted, and I'm just like you're saying, the Raiders are trying to find their identity with the new GM, new coach. And it looks like what he's trying to do is run the ball a little bit more, because we addressed offensive line needs with Dylan Parham, guard out of Memphis. Also,
Zamir White. Woo! Who is this?
Zamir White. Yeah, pull up his.
I got it loading right now.
Nice. So that's my favorite pick of the Raiders draft, and that's a steal. He ran 4. Zamir White out of Georgia. He did battle some injuries, but before that, he was killing it. He was like their top running back over there. So
what kind of injuries are we talking about?
I forget exactly. Let's look at right. Zoo was a top national recruit, finalist in Touchdown Club of Columbus, National Player of the Year.
Club of Columbus? What the fuck is that? Mickey Mouse shit. Like that.
I don't even know. I did hear he had like some injuries, but I don't.
Well, he was a Georgia running back, right?
Georgia running back, man. So
I mean, if you're getting draft, or if you're at Georgia and you're one of their main running backs, I mean, you're obviously doing something right, because they're a run first team.
Run first team, dude. So, and then we also didn't pick up Josh Jacobs' 5th-year option. So it looks like we're not going to see a big contract, which it kind of breaks my heart.
Sense.
It makes sense. He's very good, but he's getting older. He's had some injuries. So why sign him to a huge deal when you could bring in some dope running backs in a deep draft class? We also brought in a UCLA running back, Britton Brown. I don't know too much about him. He does look okay from the tape that I've seen. But yeah, drafting 2 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen, 2 running backs. I mean, it looks like what we're doing is trying to get to the quarterbacks. We're trying to protect our quarterback and we're going to run the ball, which I love. We need that. And we already have Devontae, Darren, and Hunter. I think our offense is going to look pretty good this year. I think that's setting us up pretty well. But let's look at this Zamir White tape. Let's look at your boy right here. Let's see how he is.
I haven't seen anything on this guy, so this will be my live reaction. I'm telling you how much he sucks. Let's see.
I don't get how he was available this late in the draft, but it looked like the
5'11", 214, good size. I like that size.
Yeah, he's a little
He's a little lengthy, actually. Oh, okay. Yeah. So he's got speed.
He's got speed. He's got power too. The one that I saw, there was a highlight. It was kind of a boring highlight tape, but it was just him on this one drive, and they gave him the ball every time, and he just like chunked him for 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards. Then he got like a 20-yard touchdown.
Oh, yep. I like the way he runs. He's very north-south. He's not. Yep. Ooh, and he still has cuts like that. Yeah, he looks like a smart. He's got good vision. Like what was this right here? This one shows that he's got good vision. Like, and just knows what he's doing. Like, he's not gonna like try to spin around out of the pitch. Like, he's just gonna ride with the flow of the offensive line and where the defense is falling, and then, like he's got. I like it. Now the whole injury stuff, we don't want to speculate on that. Right. But that's where the NFL is going. Everybody's copying Kyle Shanahan now, so good for you guys on finally realizing that and not, putting all your eggs in one basket with Josh Jacobs. As much as I like Josh Jacobs, I think he's a fucking beast. He's never healthy. And
it says,
running back by committee, man.
It says right here, in his recruiting class, he's regarded as the second coming of Todd Gurley. That's pretty high praise right there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the second coming of career-ending injuries.
Two prior ACL tears.
Oh.
Have you seen that one movie? Have you seen that one movie, The Comebacks? ACL tear. Come over here, ACL tear.
I don't know. I have it. That's funny. That's actually kind of rough.
Yeah, that's a little rough, man. But I mean,
was it? Do you know if it was the same knee or both?
It didn't say. It just said having prior 2 ACL tears messed up his draft value. That's what it says. But it said that he had like 200 or 400 touches in 3 years. That's a lot.
It says he has good finishing power and consistently falls forward. I love when running backs fall forward. That's like that Nick Chubb type of mentality that I like. Flash after catch.
But the thing is,
he has small hands. Kenny Pickett.
Dude,
that's what he said, but that doesn't matter.
For a round 4 pick for a guy that good, yeah, he does have injuries. You're taking a chance on him. You're paying him not a lot. You're throwing him in the system, see what happens. I mean, I love that pick, especially when Josh Jacobs is on the way out. We could bring in another guy and pay him some money if this guy ain't it, or if the other guy to UCLA ain't it. And we have next year's draft as well. I mean, that's just kind of giving us some time to see what the running back situation will be. But Zamir White, baby. All right.
Just 17 pass catches in 38 career games.
Yeah, I don't think he's much of that. I don't think he's a pass catcher, but we do have some other guys back there that are pretty good at.
Yeah. Do you guys still have the former Arizona running back?
Yeah. No, he's gone now, I believe.
Drake.
Drake. Yeah, he's out. He was on a 1-year contract. He got paid, but he fucking got hurt. That guy was a great pass catcher.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I think we still have Jalen Richard, though. He's a pretty good pass
Jalen Richard.
Yeah, Jalen Richard. All right, let's get into these ones right here. Since we already talked about James Cook, I had him written under one of the players that will have an immediate impact. So let's talk more about that. Let's talk about some other players from this draft that will have an immediate impact. I'll start with some that I have written down right here. Of course, I have James Cook right here, and you already touched on it. The Bills know what they needed. They needed a running back, and they know their identity. They're a pass first kind of team, and they're bringing in James Cook, Dalvin Cook's younger brother, who's one of the best pass catching running backs that we've seen come out of college, and he's also pretty good at running it as well. So I think he's going to have an immediate impact for that offense. Get a lot of touchdowns, get a lot of yards. Going to be a steal in the draft. I hate that I'm telling you this, Landon, because we play fantasy football together, but I think he's going to absolutely pick it up. And I don't know if you're ready for this one right here, because this guy is going to be playing with one of your arch nemesis, the sad man, and that is Christian Watson, the homie of Trey Lance. I believe this guy made Trey Lance look way better than he was at North Dakota State. I think this guy's going to make Aaron Rodgers look a lot better than he is up in Green Bay now.
No, he's raw.
Absolute steal in the draft. They got him in the second round. And I was wondering what the hell Green Bay was doing drafting 2 defensive players in the first round. But then they go and they pick Christian Watson in the second round with the 3rd pick. And I'm like, wow. Fucking that guy saved that offense. He's going to save Aaron Rodgers' ass. And if you're playing fantasy football, get this guy. Also, Sky.
I was just about to say. That was going to be my first one.
That guy.
Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up.
Pull up his
this
tape.
guy.
Watson's tape too.
This guy is gonna. Yeah, I will after this. But this guy is Antonio Brown, bro. His route running.
Dude,
I don't know how he didn't go earlier. Honestly, just by looking at his tape, like he's gonna be nasty in the slot. I mean, like watch his feet.
Let's see. It's because of the school that he went to. The people are like. And then being able to and showing physicality, being able to stick through those hands. He's got speed, but dude, it's the precision. It's the precision with look at this, look at that. Like, nah, bro. Like, and then with Mahomes' ability to just like put it on the numbers, like this is where he's gonna be good right here. Like this type of shit. This is a great dynasty wide receiver. Like if you're in a dynasty.
Oh yeah.
This guy.
He's gonna look just like Antonio Brown did with the Bucks. Like kind of that. Like he could catch probably 13 balls a game for like 140 yards, and like it doesn't happen.
Great placement for Tyreek.
And different too. Like he's not the speed that Tyreek is, but I think he has that elusiveness kind of that Tyreek has aside from the speed, like that ability to know how to sit in his routes properly, how to get cornerbacks to not fully commit at the line of scrimmage because they're not sure which way he's going to go. He's going to be nasty. I think he's easily going to be the top 20 wide receiver in the league, maybe even higher than that. I think he's going to be if he shows out, if he develops quickly, I think he's going to be one of the best receivers for sure on that team. And then who knows how that reflects in fantasy, but I think he's going to be a steal.
Bring up the Christian Watson tape too. That I want to watch that with you as well. I think him and Aaron Rodgers. Oh my god.
I like Christian. I did hear a little bit about him maybe not being fully like developed and all that. I don't know how true that is or not. I mean, wide receiver I feel like is one of the positions that, if the last few years have told us anything, is one of the more easier positions for people to transition, at least the good players for them to transition and make an impact early.
And the thing I really like about him too is he played 4 years, so he's had lots of time to develop. He's put in lots of work in his footwork, and he's got experience.
Are you seeing my screen? Okay, now you are.
Yes, I see it. All right, let's watch this guy. Let's see what Aaron Rodgers got.
They got full minute of tape on him, so they didn't, because Trey Lance was back there. 6'4", 208. He's a big guy. He's
big fucker.
But mostly speed, right? I mean, I'm not sure he's really like.
He's got it all, man. This guy's just an athlete, bro.
In the slot.
He's very raw. He's raw. He's at North Dakota State, so I'm sure he doesn't have the best coaching. But guess who has great coaching is the Green Bay Tigers, especially with their wide receivers.
I think what they said is he could shore up a little bit of his route running. It kind of looks like that. Like he doesn't look like he's doing anything too crazy laterally.
No.
But he's got natural talent. He's got natural speed. and he's big. I mean, he's not big to where he's gonna run over people, but he's big enough to like he's gonna hit a slant in the end zone. He's gonna get that bitch. So it's gonna be a nice pickup. He's gonna be good, and then Aaron Rodgers is making him look better.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's gonna make Aaron Rodgers look way better, especially without the. So players
who
that
do
I
you
think will have an immediate effect. Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Who do you think makes more of an impact, Watson or Moore?
Honestly, I think Watson, because I think I think for fantasy
They're so desperate
wise,
for a wide receiver.
exactly. I think that now without Devontae, it's going to leave a big hole, and I think Aaron Rodgers is the kind of guy that likes to keep throwing to the same guy over and over again. And I think Christian Watson's going to come in. He's going to be like, "Wow, this guy's really good," and he throw to him all day. I think it's going to be great for fantasy football. Lots of stats, lots of points, lots of touchdowns.
I think more.
Maybe,
I think more.
you think?
He's going to have more. Yeah, I think he's just his ability and why he got drafted where he did is because of the route running and his precision, and I think that's just going to transition perfectly. I don't know. Watson will definitely ball out, but I think you give more to Aaron Rodgers, I think he performs way better than Watson would probably.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think so. I think both of those teams though are just great fits for those wide receivers. Like they're just going to fit into the system very well. They got experienced quarterbacks, so.
I would be annoyed if I were you about Sky Moore going to Kansas City. I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah, I was like, fuck. For me, I was like, dude, the freaking Raiders got to play this guy. We got rid of freaking Tyreek, and then this guy comes in, a young stud. But some other players that I think will have an immediate impact, of course, Aiden Hutchinson for the Lions, picking him up at 2. That's amazing. Sauce Gardner for the Jets. That guy's going to be a lockdown corner just like he was at Cincinnati. Kayvon Thibodeau out of fucking Oregon. That guy's a beast, absolute steal. And then Kyle Hamilton for the Ravens. I mean, I don't think the Ravens drafted too well. Didn't address their needs. They got rid of Hollywood Brown, and then they go out and draft a safety in the first round. But this guy, he's probably already going to be a Hall of Famer. Like this guy is no doubt.
So?
Oh yeah, look up Kyle Hamilton.
They don't have his video on here. I could look it up separately.
Yeah, look it
up. But the Ravens got really high ratings actually.
Okay, so they pick good people, but I don't think
not what they need.
Personally, that's what I think they should.
I think the same thing.
Yeah,
I think the same thing. And
they're just kind of like one of those teams that always focuses on their defense, like the Chicago Bears, for example. And they got Lamar over there. They get rid of Hollywood Brown, probably their best wide receiver, who wasn't even that good. And then you pick up a safety, which I don't know. He's going to be good though, no doubt. So
let's check it out.
Look up, but let's see what he's got. This guy was a stud.
Is it showing on your screen?
Yeah, now it is. Let's see.
Oh.
I'm hearing, and guess who's getting? They're comparing him to Ed Reed, of course, and I'm like, okay, so the Ravens went out and got Ed Reed 2.0. This guy, yeah, and I will say, this guy is really fucking handsome. When I was watching him at the draft, I was like, who is this guy?
Do you want to kiss him or what?
I had a man crush on him. I'm like, this guy has great teeth, and I was like, this guy's fucking jacked. I was like, this guy's tall. And then he got drafted, and then he was with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend is a fucking dime piece. And I was just like, wow. And she was hella tall, too. I was like, these guys are going to have the most beautiful babies and, like, the most athletic babies ever. So this guy, I'd make out with him.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got a crush on this guy.
A little interesting insight. Only the best draft analysis here at the Informed Moron. Ooh.
The Informed Moron always brings the best.
That's what we got to. We should have had a list. Most handsome draft picks.
Oh, for sure, most handsome draft pick. And look at that on 4th and 1. Stop.
Oh.
Look at that. Clemson too, so he's playing against the best guys. He's gonna be a great safety, bro.
Yeah, I think he's got a really good vision of the field. He looks like he takes all the. I mean, these are obviously highlights, so they're good plays, but he looks like he takes really good angles, and he has a very quick reaction to the play itself and understanding where the play is developing. Like, sometimes you might get, things moving one way, and then, they have a reverse, but he's got great vision.
He just ran from the other side of the field and picked that off. Let's watch that. Dude, that was fucking incredible. Look at that. Dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That was a terrible pass. So come on, look at this. One more time. Let's watch how badly underthrown this ball is.
And please, while we're watching this, let's watch him take off his helmet and look at how handsome this guy is.
I'll
This
try
guy
to pause it so you can give him a
handsome
kiss.
draft pick. Look at that. Wow.
Ah, damn it. Hold on.
And he goes to Notre Dame? It's fucking
Woo!
Look at
I don't know.
that.
Right here though, there's not much going on over here. He put all his cards in his face.
You can't be lucky all the way around, you know. You can't be handsome and have a big old freaking slong on you.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
Yeah, I'm proof of that.
All right, so let's get into this right here. Players we're most excited to watch. Let's do that one. Not necessarily players that will have an immediate impact, but players that we are excited to watch play.
You know who I'm actually excited to watch? I don't think he will actually start right away. Let me pull him up. He went. I'm gonna see if you could guess him. He went to the Falcons, and he's not a wide receiver. Although I am excited to see. Yes, Desmond Ridder. What draft pick was he?
Let's look together. I want to say
I'm looking for him.
The third or something.
Was he the fourth at the? I think he's actually the perfect fit for their team. Oddly enough, and I don't know how. He looks exactly like Marcus Mariota, which is kind of hilarious because they obviously have Marcus Mariota. Where the fuck? Excuse my language. Desmond Ridder.
So round 3.
Round 3.
74. So that's not too bad. I think that's good value for him. I think he's going to be good.
I think so too. I think, yeah, people kind of slept on him. Like a lot of people were doubting him, but like, I think like he's one of those guys. He's not going to come in right away and start tearing it up. But when you couple that with literally having Marcus Mariota, your doppelganger, as your mentor and someone to work with, I think he's going to be a really good fit when he maybe starts 2 years from now. Like I think he's got the body type. He could run when he wants to. I don't think he's like a full-fledged running quarterback, which is obviously what you want, is someone that handles, in the pocket more. Like this throw right here is pretty gnarly. Like he's got good velocity, right? Like that's where that needed to be.
As the steal of the draft. This was my steal of the draft.
Yeah. I don't know. I think people are disrespecting him.
I think so too, and he seems like a really smart guy. He seems like he's obviously we don't know this, but he seems like a really good locker room guy. I think he's one of the best wide receivers or quarterbacks in this draft class. Yeah, and he was disrespected. So I think I'm excited to watch him play. And then let's go back. Let me get one more in there. And first wide receiver taken. We're talking Falcons here. I almost put them as I think one of the teams that did the best in the draft because I think they addressed what they needed and they got kind of like unique players in each one of those positions. Like sometimes it's like, did you get the best player or did you get the one that looks like, the most that's like that fits, but also is kind of like his own thing. Like I don't think there's any Drake Londons in the wide receiver class.
Drake London, Pitts, Cardell Patterson. That's going to be a dirty offense for fantasy football.
It is. And Kyle Pitts
in there, and he gets going too. Like that.
I mean, him and Kyle Pitts, like those are two big physical wide receivers that can go up and get the ball. Like
superstars.
Why are we watching this guy? I hate that guy. What's his name? He looks like a clown. And I swear, bro, he's always on cocaine. Like if you watch him like sitting there, he's always just like shaking his head, like bro. Like there's something wrong with that guy.
Cocaine. He's just like, this guy's fucking great.
I know everything about every player.
Like, bro, he already put out his new draft for next year. Who he thinks is gonna go?
Of course he did. Look at that though. Hold on. Let's look at this one more time.
Oh wow.
This is his basketball. Coming through. Let's watch it in real time.
Drake London, absolute athlete too. He won a high school slam dunk competition.
I mean, just look at the velocity that he gets, like, boom, like, and a perfect timing where, like, as soon as it touches his hands, he's coming down. Like, that's just really good body control.
That's why he was the first wide receiver taken. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people really would argue against his ability, but he's just the overall probably best prospect at wide receiver in the draft, just because of his literally, he's just so dynamic. Like, he could go up against pretty much anybody, and he's gonna have a good chance to come down with the ball. So I'm interested to see how he balls out. He's 88 receptions, 1,084, 7 touchdowns.
I love it, man. I think the Falcons did a great job. Look at that.
I did too.
Keep bringing that high point. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I gotta say, another wide receiver that I'm excited to watch this year is Chris Olave out of Ohio State. And I don't think he was one of the best wide receivers in this draft. He was definitely top 3, maybe top 5. But I think that system that he's going into, the New Orleans Saints with Jameis, and Michael Thomas is going to be back this year, and they got Alvin Kamara. I think that he's going to fit in very well with Michael Thomas, and he's going to be the second option. That guy should be a first option, and I think both of those guys are going to ball out. And
is Michael Thomas coming back? What's going on with that fool? I read a tweet that there's still complications for him to come back from his ankle. I'm like, what?
I don't think he really likes Jameis that much.
I don't think he likes the organization. He needs to demand a trade. But let's
Sean Payton's gone too. But
Chris Olave, I think you're right. I think he fits the system well. The only problem is, like, fucking Sean Payton's gone. Like, what's that gonna look like? I think that's.
I'm curious to see it. I do like Jameis, man. I think Jameis is going to be nice with him. And this guy's just special. If Michael Thomas is back, this guy's going to be fun to watch for sure.
I like Jameis too, but like Jameis is good, but
he's
I mean,
okay.
unless let's put it this way, they're going to have a reduction in their coaching is going to go down. I mean, you don't just replace Sean Payton. So how that affects everything can be very interesting to see. And yeah, Olave's a beast. I mean, look at this guy. He's a speedster. I think he's kind of that, he's a precision guy. He's not going to run you over. He's not going to jump over everybody, get the ball. I mean, he still can, but
he's almost like a Amari Cooper. He's just a very good at footwork.
I think Amari's even bigger than him, though, a little bit more physical. He looks a lot like who would you compare him to? I don't even know. He kind of reminds me of almost like an Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore? Yeah, I could see that.
A little bit. I don't know.
Ohio State has the best wide receiver. So Ohio State this year, they had like 2 top 10 wide receivers, and their best wide receiver is a freshman. So he's going to Jackson Smith in the Jigba. He's like a freshman. He's about to be a sophomore next year.
What'd you just say? No,
what did you say on the podcast? Another guy, though, that I'm excited to watch, Jahan Dotson, Treylon Burks. Jahan Dotson's the guy that went to the Washington Commanders. I feel bad for him. He's going to have Carson Wentz throwing up the ball. But I'm excited to see him along with Terry McLaurin. I think that's an awesome set of wide receivers right there, and they should do well. Treylon Burks, that's the A.J. Brown replacement. He's basically an A.J. Brown 2.0.
Let's look at him. I actually – good.
Oh, and what I like about him is, he's going to be replacing A.J. Brown, so he's going to be the number 1 probably, but he's going to have Tannehill throwing it to him. But guess who just drafted a quarterback is Malik Willis. And I think he's kind of a steal of the draft too. Him and Ritter, I think that they went pretty low for their value. So I think Malik Willis could be really good. He has a chance to be, but if he has Treylon Burks in there, that's going to make him a lot better.
I'm not sure about Malik Willis. I think he definitely has the physical traits.
Yeah.
But like I read that like in the 2 biggest games that they played, like the actual competitive teams or whatever, I think they played like Alabama or someone else too. Yeah. He didn't throw a single touchdown in either one, and it's just like I don't know though. I'm not somebody that spent a lot of time worrying about the quarterbacks in the draft. because we already got the best one from last year's draft in Trey Lance. So
And this
why
one
would that? Why would? But let's see.
Mr.
This Mr. Debo Samuel
Is
looking
Debo
ass.
back or what? So is Debo gonna play or what? Okay, this
He's
guy.
gonna play, bro. They're gonna.
This
I
guy,
truly think that was a business thing with Debo. But let's go into this guy.
So this guy right here, I think this guy could have been the best wide receiver in the draft, but he went to the Titans and he has Tannehill throwing to him, so that kind of sucks. But look at this guy.
Yeah,
AJ
but
Brown.
but you know what's gonna happen is exactly what happened with AJ Brown. Like everyone's gonna fucking load the box to fucking stop Mr. King, and this guy's just gonna be open. And
Yep.
Yeah, he's good. And you know what it is? Like his just lower body is big. Like he does not look fun to tackle. Oh my god.
Dude, this
He's
guy
a big guy. He will run you over. He looks kind of like Debo, just a little lengthier. And AJ, he looks just like wow, and he's got speed.
Just like AJ, bro. And his hands are so big. They're 4XL. He has to have Nike.
Bro, he might perform just as good, if not better than.
Yeah.
No, he might not be better than AJ. I mean, AJ's a beast, but
it's gonna be hard. AJ's special.
But that's what's really interesting about the way the NFL is going and the way that that teams have to manage their money is that, like, okay, we got AJ Brown. What did they give him in the third round, second round in 2018? They got him late, right? They got the lottery ticket. He turned into a way better player than they thought he would, but now they got to make the business decision. Like, can we pay him what he wants, what he deserves, and still keep a competitive team around us? And their determination of that was that we could just go out, get this guy, real quick. He's coming out of college looking just like the guy that we're replacing. We're gonna have an influx of wide receivers in next year's draft too, in case for some reason he doesn't pan out. Like, it's very interesting the way the NFL is going with the cap, the money that players specifically at like wide receiver are requesting, and then just the amount of kids that are like, okay, well that's where the money is. I got to get the ball and get touchdowns. Like, that's where I want to play. So you're gonna have a lot of wide receiver drafts just like we did this year from now on, because I think it's pretty obvious how important they are to an organization. And you need them to win a Super Bowl. They're not just a nice to have anymore.
It's a new league that we are now in. But
yeah,
I mean, we've been talking about who's going to be the best, who's going to be this, who's going to be that, who's going to be productive. But now to close out the show, I mean, we've been doing this for an hour now. It's been an absolute banger. But who are the players that will suck the most out of the first round? Let's close it out with that, Landon. Who you got? Who will be the suckiest player out of this year's first round? Who you got?
That's a loaded question. Kenny, I'm gonna go with Kenny Pickett. Honestly, everyone seems to be. I know everyone's high on Kenny, but there's nothing on his tape that makes me go like, that's a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Bring up that tape. I want to see the one where he does the fake slide.
Like, you know why? And he might look good compared to Mitch Trubisky and what's his name, Mason Rudolph, but like,
yeah.
that's it. Like, I would have taken Ritter or Malik Willis over this guy, and that's because, like, again, like, I think every one of the quarterbacks in this draft pretty much isn't all that ready, except for Pickett apparently. But the way that I'm looking at it, what just happened?
I don't know. I put it. I
That's 5 months later.
Yeah, watch. I got something. I got something for the people out there after the show. I was trying to upload.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself. For some reason, it's not sharing my screen. There it is. Look, like, he's smart. He knows what he's doing. He played in Pittsburgh, right next to their facility. Like, they know him well. He's gonna fit the system. He's gonna be all right. But
look at that.
My thing with him is, like, with a quarterback.
Kenny Tugler? Come on now,
bro. Kenny, game manager? Come on now. Like, he's not gonna do anything. He's just gonna, bro. No,
this is your type. This guy's your type, bro. You love these kind of guys. He looks just like Herbert.
Herbert's way more handsome.
Look at, he's handsome. Him and the
He's
guy.
got small hands. He's got small hands. It means he's got a little pee-pee, and that means he can't control an organization or a locker room. Can't come in with that little pee-pee energy. No,
maybe he has big balls though. Maybe he's all balls.
Look at this. Oh. This is his best highlight. Ooh, let me pretend to slide. Like if that's my biggest knock on him. His best highlight is him pretending to slide like a little queer.
That shows creativity though, and IQ, baby. Like who's ever done that? Nobody. They literally had to start a rule because of that. They're like, holy shit, that's
because it's some little girl. SHIT. Like, come on. Turn the slide. Like, well, this isn't baseball. I look, and his arm velocity, like, he's going to get batted down at the line of scrimmage a lot of times. He needs to change that.
At least he's got Najee Harris, though. I mean, he's going to be handing it off to him.
But he's going to be a smart kid. And look, he that's the biggest thing. And that's why, like, you know, I'd be eating my words that he's not going to look terrible. But what I'm saying is, like, he's not going to do anything for them. Like, I don't think he'll be any better than Ben Roethlisberger at his best in the last few years of his career.
Well, dude, I think this guy, though, I think he's going to have a good cast around him. He's got a great coach. I think.
Yeah, he's a system quarterback, and he'll work in the system. That's where he fits. I think that was more of a fit pick. And the fact that they need somebody at least other than Mitchell Trubisky, which honestly isn't the worst person to have either. Like, so again, I just don't see them being as like a powerhouse, like because they grabbed Kenny Pickett. It's not like, oh, they're instantly better. That's how I feel about him and why I don't think he's gonna. I mean, again, I need to see a little bit more to be like, wow, like this guy's gonna have an immediate impact on the team.
Right. Well, I got as my player that's going to suck the most as Trayvon Walker, the number one draft. You want to bring up his
let's let it load a little bit.
I also wrote in Tyler Smith and Cole Strange in here because, you know, Tyler Smith got picked up by the Cowboys, and you just got to talk shit about the Cowboys. You know what I mean?
Oh, always. Yeah. Every chance we get, we're going to do that. I think Strange will be good, but like he still wasn't worth the first round pick.
Well, let's see. Break down this film while I go pee because this fucking coffee's hitting me, and I still want to finish.
You're good. Go ahead.
I'll be right back.
All right.
So break it down. Tell me
Walker. All right. So we got him playing Michigan. Michigan's a pretty darn good school. So let's see what he could do to their offensive line. Now, what I'm seeing right here is power. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's got good hips. He can bend a little bit if he needs to bend, as we were talking about earlier. Oh, yeah, he's a ball hawk. I don't know, Damon. I like him. I like him so far. Oh, he's got bro. Like he's got nasty his lower body is just. You could tell that he's got a lot of power. Now, he seems a little erratic, which isn't terrible, which is kind of a good thing in this position. But you ask me, bro, like he's gonna be able to get like for his size, he's gonna be able to get low and like really have good leverage against the offensive line, and I like it. I don't know. He looks like a good player to me.
He's definitely dirty. He's just not as polished as Aiden Hutchinson, and I already Aiden Hutchinson ball out, and everyone's gonna be like, wow, why was this guy taken for the first pick? Because he's going to be on the Jaguars. He's probably not going to do too much. The scheme fucking sucks over there. It's just a setup for failure for him. Like every year, the Jaguars first pick, and it's like they never live up to the hype, right? Like look at Trevor Lawrence. He did have Urban Meyer over there. He had a shitty situation. I get it, but it's just like, man, no matter what the Jaguars do, they can't live up to that first overall pick hype, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think with them, it's their front office. That's why they suck. It's just constant dysfunction, and you know that might make sense then if Aiden Hutchinson is the better player. It'll be interesting to see.
Definitely, man.
I like the pick though.
Well, dude, we just did an hour and 10 minutes. That was a great podcast. We wanted to do it like 30, 45 minutes, but this was loaded, man. We had a lot of shit to break down. But
Good
I
stuff.
do want to close it out with a little video for all the moms out there. You know, it is